Greenland, the world's largest island in the Arctic Ocean. Ancient traditions, mysterious creatures, and the eternal ice have long determined the lives of the island's inhabitants. The continental drift once caused mighty mountain ranges to form along the coast. The interior of the country is covered by a vast ice sheet and barely accessible to humans. The extensive biodiversity of the Arctic Ocean attracts scientists from all over the world.
Det bestemt en lettelse. Nu de andre gået og ventet på et dyr i 2 dage. Så det bare super.
A life shaped and surrounded by nature. Summer at the Arctic Circle. In Visuit, the rugged glaciers of the inland ice meet the green tundra. For thousands of years, these have been the hunting grounds of the Inuit, who have always fed themselves with whatever nature has provided. In 2018, the region was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Since then, it has welcomed ever greater numbers of international visitors. Nowhere else in Greenland offers easier access to the inland ice. Kimernak Heilman was born and raised in Greenland. She knows the icy landscape intimately and has turned this knowledge into a career. Today, she is leading a group of visitors from France. Their tent, provisions and luggage are transported on cargo sleds, along with the expedition's safety equipment.
Eqqarsaatini piaqarsima yuannarpa tortoqarnissaano qanuiliusissikka sungiusarnikuuvugut qupparsuarnu pulalluta rapellerluta majoorillutalu.
The group has a 3-hour journey ahead of them. Their route will take them over the terminal moraine, mounds of stones and rubble pushed forward by the moving glaciers. Continually rising temperatures have caused the ice to melt and revealed more and more of the land. After half an hour, they reach the ice. But now crampons are needed to continue their journey. As far back as the 19th century, polar researchers undertook expeditions to Greenland's inland ice. Most Inuit, on the other hand, never saw any reason to put themselves in unnecessary danger. Yet Kimernak has always been fascinated by the ice. She knows all the potential pitfalls that are hidden to the untrained eye.
When we were there, a crack came. Teeny tiny millimeter of crack. And then water started coming down to it because it turns out there was a tunnel under it. So it makes these sounds like go, 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 go. And then it got bigger and bigger every time we were here. Suddenly, after 3 months, it's this big. We can be 3 persons inside now.
3 hours later, the hikers reach their final stop of the day. Here is where they will set up camp for the night.
I need you to put 1 screw here because the wind is always coming from the summit of the ice cap.
They use screws instead of pegs and sleeping bags designed for extreme temperatures. In the daytime, it's around 5 degrees Celsius. At night, however, temperatures can plummet to far below freezing. Time for dinner. But first of all, Kimernak needs fresh water.
Unaimer mineralini ulikkaarpoq makkua ukiorpassuit ukiorqassituusinttin sermersuu ataani imaaliaruusaarluti uyaqqani sequtseqqissaarnikun timittaama pisariaqartitaa tassaniipput mineraalerpassuit taamaasilluni ima una minguitsoq peqqinnartuniaama ulikkaarpoq
Unfortunately, she has planned for everything. Nighttime brings a visit from the northern lights. They are electrically charged particles of the solar winds that have hit the Earth's atmosphere. The Inuit, however, believe them to be the spirits of the dead. Greenland lies between Canada and Iceland, the closest landmass to the North Pole. Over 80% of the island is covered by ice. Starting out from Thule in the north, the Inuit settled this land around 1,000 years ago. Disco Island, named after its round shape, is located in Disco Bay, a major point of interest for marine biologists. Long ago, volcanic activity shaped the red basalt slopes of the island. Rock glaciers cascade down from the mountainous coastlines into the depths of the Disco Fjord. The moving permafrost soils consist of frozen rubble and stones. In summer, meltwater flows down the rock face. The bay is littered with countless icebergs. Many humpback whales are drawn to Disco Bay. The water is full of plankton, fish, and their favorite food, the Arctic krill. Almost all the icebergs in Disco Bay have broken away from the Cermak Kuyahek, the most active glacier in the northern hemisphere. The research vessel Porseid from the University of Copenhagen has arrived on a rare mission. Its scientists are searching for what might be the most unknown creature of the Arctic deep sea, the Greenland shark.
Anytime.
In 2016, Dr. John Stephenson and his team discovered that Greenland sharks can live to be over 600 years old, older than any other vertebrate in the world. This time, the researchers are not only here to observe, they are hoping to catch a Greenland shark.
Vi kan se et par meter inden den kommer til overfladen, der kan vi se konturerne af hegn. Så det er vi selvfølgelig glade for. Og der er lidt trykket stemning, når vi kommer til den sidste fælg, og der ingen hajer var på.
Yesterday, the biologists anchored 6 long lines to the seabed, 250 meters below the surface. The Greenland shark lives down there in the darkness. It can barely see anything, so it uses its sense of smell to find its way around. Choosing the right kind of bait is therefore essential.
Med til at lave alt det ildelugtende og det fysiske arbejde. Man kan sige, det bedste mading til for de her kræ på krogen, det er sæler. Men vi snakker ikke om en frisk sæl, vi snakker om så rådden som muligt. No shark, Peter. I don't think so, but it's a little hard to know.
It's day 3, and still no shark in sight. For Peter Bushnell, this is nothing new.
That's all we can do. There are just some things that are out of your control, and this is one of them, right? Whenever you do field work, you can't control the fish and you can't control the weather. It is definitely a mystery shark.
Using a camera mounted on a deep sea platform, the scientists plan to monitor the Greenland shark.
Det vi prøver på nu, det er, at vi vil gerne se, hvordan hegn den angriber sit bytte. Fordi tidligere regnede man med, at de kun var øjesleder. Men vi har fundet meget friske fisk og friske kødstykker i dem. Så vi er ret sikre på, at de også angriber bytte nu. Og derfor har vi sat et stykke sæl på og har et kamera siddende. Okay.
Barely any footage of live Greenland sharks has ever been recorded. For 10 years, the researchers have been trying to solve the mystery of this elusive beast. Yet significant parts of the puzzle still remain out of reach. Only by first catching and then studying a Greenland shark in the lab will the biologists be able to find out more.
We just want to make sure that nothing happens to them. When you have an animal that's this age, that grows so slowly, that doesn't mature till very late in life and has very few pups, it's a recipe for disaster.
Today, they are returning to Qeqertarsuaq, the only town on Disco Island without a Greenland shark specimen. The University of Copenhagen's Arctic Research Station was founded here in 1906. It operates both as living quarters and as a laboratory.
Bycatch reduction engineering program.
The scientists discuss the day's findings and evaluate the deep-sea video footage. John has been fascinated by the Greenland shark for the past 15 years.
Der mødte vi en fanger i en åben båd, og han havde en 3,5 meter lang grønlandshaj hængende på siden. Og jeg udbrød bare, wow, det er en grønlandshaj. Og jeg troede, de var meget svære at fange og meget sjældne. Og der var det skipperen, han sagde ligesom, at han havde hørt rygter om, at de blev meget gamle. Så det var der, hvor jeg ligesom tænkte, det må vi prøve at undersøge nærmere, det der med, at de bliver meget gamle.
Any more sharks? Christian, in the video?
Suddenly, the footage reveals a Greenland shark after all. Tomorrow, the researchers will set out once again to find it.
Check along lines and bring a shark in. Right, it took us almost off.
The Ingerfield Fjord in the region of Thule, in the far north of Greenland. In summertime, narwhals come here to give birth to their young. They are also known as sea unicorns. Their highly sensitive tusks help these mammals find their way under the water. Mountains of basalt and sandstone rise from the banks of the fjord. The Arctic fox is one of the few land-based animals that lives here, alongside humans. Today, the Inuit hunter Mess Ole Christiansen is at the Ingerfield Fjord to hunt seals. He usually hunts narwhals at this time of year, but the hunting quotas have already been exhausted. Seal hunting, however, is not restricted by quotas, although in summertime the animals are particularly hard to kill. They dive back into the water at the first sign of danger. Miss Ole plans to catch one for his family and dogs to eat. Today, he's out of luck. Mesole stops in Qeqertat to visit his friend Thomas Dunek. With just 20 inhabitants, this village is one of the smallest in all of Greenland. The residents have no running water and no electricity. The two men have been friends for many years. Today, they are planning to make whips for their dog sleds from seal skin. Seals are the traditional prey of the Inuits. As always, the entire animal is carefully prepared. Nothing is wasted. Before the seal skin dries, the fur is removed. By hand, of course. Helping out your neighbors is a part of life in Greenland. The leather will take 3 days to dry. Then it's ready to be turned into whips. 1,500 kilometers further south in Kangerlussuaq, Greenland's only inland town and home to the island's largest airport. This hangar is hiding a rarity, the Sikorsky S-61 helicopter. It's Greenland's only rescue helicopter that is ready for operation around the clock. Pilot Flemming Bisgaard is carrying out routine checks.
Jeg føler mig også utrolig heldig, at jeg har muligheden for at kan stadigvæk flyve den her. Der er kun lavet 116 af den her type her i hele verden, og denne her maskine er fra 1965 og er altså 54 år gammel nu, og er ældre end mig.
The chopper was originally designed for the open sea. If necessary, it can also land on water and transform into a boat. It's a wonder of multitasking, perfect for these rough conditions.
Man kan jo godt sige, at hvis Grønland var the Wild West i forhold til Danmark, så er det absolut den her hest her, som jeg vil satse på. Helt klart.
When there are no rescue missions in progress, Flemming and his team provide charter flights for paying customers. There are hardly any roads in Greenland. Heavy loads are transported by helicopter. Today, Flemming is bringing a stone mill to a chalk mine, a 100-kilometer journey across Greenland's wilderness. Greenland is home to the only continuous inland ice surface in the northern hemisphere. It covers an area of 1.7 million square kilometers, stretching far beyond the Arctic Circle. Nearly 10% of the world's drinking water reserves are stored here. But the seemingly eternal ice sheets are beginning to melt away. Not only would the melting of Greenland's ice sheets cause global sea levels to rise by 7 meters, scientists warn that the desalination of the saltwater could irreparably damage our entire marine ecosystem. The night was particularly cold. Temperatures dropped to far below freezing. But for Kimenak, the ice is like a second home.
Tessamani kulunga angarlars simanginnerusarpungaluni taamani ulapiffinni sinikulanarusarlunga ta nipiliuleraangan innarfigissallugu toqqissisimanarnerpaangila kisia.
Bonjour.
La nuit était un peu fraîche, mais on a eu la chance de voir des aurores boréales, donc ça n'a pas de prix, c'était magnifique. On a passé une nuit magnifique.
After some morning sustenance, the journey continues across the inland ice. The hike through the gorges will take 3 hours. The German polar researcher Alfred Wegener died on the ice sheet in 1930 while trying to cross Greenland. Countless meltwater rivers under the surface hollow out the ice from within and increase the risk of collapse.
The Molong is right here. Please stay on this side.
The moulins. These are holes in the ice which branch off in all directions under the surface.
This one has around 30 meters down, but it goes further in like this, like a snake. It's a big one. We haven't discovered what's under it yet, but maybe during the winter we'll go down and check it.
Ça fait peur parce que on sent bien que si on est englouti là-dedans, on ne reviendra jamais, mais celui-là en plus c'est très gros donc.
Water flows here throughout the summer. By the afternoon, the hikers are back on more solid, rocky ground. It's a new day in Disco Bay. The biologists are back and looking for a Greenland shark. Their colleagues in the lab cannot continue their work without a specimen to study.
Men vi prøver jo også på at få nogle hajer her for at lave nogle fysiologiske forsøg, for at se, hvordan kan et hjerte på et hvirveldyr fungere i mere end 270 år. Det er jo ret fantastisk, at det kan det. Så det er det, vi prøver på.
John has been working with a local crew for several years. No one knows the secrets of the Arctic Ocean better than they do.
Men de isbjerge, de har sejlet i mange år, så de har vores liv, de har grønlændernes liv, der ligger her, ude på havet altså.
Line B. The last 3 came up empty.
We have a tangle and we have a shark.
They need to act fast so as not to hurt the animal. The shark is quickly taken off the hook and is tied securely to the boat.
If I try to take a clip line. I have it here. And Peter, can you give me bolt cutters? Wow, he's really alive, Jesus. No, but it's the boat that's rolling. No, I'm not going anywhere.
The water temperatures in the Arctic are just above freezing point. The shark has a form of antifreeze in its blood, without which it could not survive these brutal conditions.
Det der, som I kunne se, det der skete, det var, at den var lidt mere levende, end vi havde regnet med. Og selvom det ser ud som om det er havblik, så ruller båden lidt, så det var lige før vi røg vandet begge to.
This specimen is at least 4 meters long and weighs around 300 kilos. The researchers have been monitoring the species for years in an attempt to increase their scientific understanding. Today, they will kill the animal in order to study it in detail. The local halibut fishermen would be happy to help. For them, the Greenland shark is a threat to their livelihood.
De fisker med liner med flere tusind kroge på. Og hvis der sidder en hellefisk på en lang line, så er det meget let bytte for en grønlandshaj. Og hvis den nupper grønlandshajen, så risikerer den at svømme væk med hele linen. Med måske 1000 eller 2000 hellefisk på. På den anden måde ved vi jo godt, at vi også slår nogle enkelte hajer ihjel, men vi prøver virkelig på ikke at slå gravide hunder ihjel. Og vi prøver på, at det primært er hajer, som enten har slugt krogen, eller som er beskadiget på en eller anden måde.
There's a rock here. Der kommer en sten i foran dig, John. Ikke voldsomt, men nej, jeg tror bare godt, du kommer over.
Well, then Diego has to take us.
Diego Bernal and his colleagues from the lab are waiting for them in the harbor.
We are going to remove the heart from the animal and try to understand the way the heart contracts. We're trying to measure the capacity of the muscles to contract and relax and understand a little bit more about how these hearts work in very cold and large and old fish.
Does an increase in sea temperatures threaten the survival of the world's oldest vertebrate? To answer this question, researcher Magdalena Winchester is studying muscle samples from the fish's heart and fins. To make them move, the muscles are stimulated by electrical impulses at different temperatures.
I'm specifically looking at how temperature affects the heart. So as temperatures warm, I want to see if the heart can still contract.
The tests will take several weeks. The scientists are now one step closer to understanding the mysterious Greenland shark. Far to the north lies the town of Qaanaaq. It's the northernmost Inuit settlement in the world. Danish whalers discovered this place at the beginning of the 19th century. 90% of the region's inhabitants have always lived from traditional hunting. They always used the entire animal. The most profitable hunting activity is the catching and selling of narwhals. But since 2019, the hunting of these animals has been strictly regulated. The quotas are set by the hunting ministry in Nuuk. Mesole is chairman of the Qaanaaq Hunting Association. Today, he has called for a demonstration by hunters and their families. Narwhal's skin is a delicacy in Greenland. The animals can fetch a price of up to 5,000 euros each. The summer offers no other sources of revenue, and there are no state benefits to rely on. Mesole hands over their demands to the regional administrator on a USB stick. but the official is bound to the laws set in Nuuk.
Ja innuktaut atotsimornikappiareilkia attappi qangaanit ikioqasi tutema ingertauarnitti takutikinnara uli tema inoriaertu ikioqasigittuk.
Kanak receives supplies by cargo ship just twice a year. All other deliveries must be flown in at great cost. So the people here are left to their own devices and have to manage as best they can. Mesole has 2 children. His 7-year-old son also wants to become a hunter one day, despite the difficulties they face. Back at the polar circle in Asivisuit, part of the unique Arctic landscape near Kangaslusuaq. 4,000 years ago, the first human settlers are said to have lived here. For the Inuit, this place has always had a special significance as a hunting ground. At the beginning of the 1960s, 27 musk ox calves from East Greenland were brought to the region. The animals found their ideal living conditions here. Since then, the number of musk oxen has grown to over 10,000. Yet the preferred prey of Inuit hunters remains the caribou. Rescue pilot Fleming Biscor is on his way to a tundra fire. He is transporting firefighters and equipment to the scene. The firefighting experts were flown in especially from Denmark to support their Greenlandic colleagues.
Større problemer med førhen. Desværre så hele Grønland jo så remote, at det forbundet med store økonomiske omkostninger at slukke de her brandmærer.
With blazes such as these, there is a risk of the fires smoldering under the ground and spreading extremely quickly, if not put out in time.
Vi har haft en masse udstyr med herud, som er nogle rygsække, og så er det en masse jordspyd, som man hammer ned i jorden, så man simpelthen får vandet længere ned. Og så tror jeg nok, det her det er en par brusekabiner også. Det er nok, fordi nu har de allerede været herude i nogle døgn, så nu lugter det nok ikke lige frem af matas mere.
Attempts to extinguish the smoldering fires have been going on for weeks. The arrival of backup from Denmark means that local firefighters can finally take a break. Greenland has been an autonomous territory of Denmark since 2009, but it is still financially dependent on the sovereign state and reliant on aid for disaster protection.
ативингиннарми ингерлатеқаратта таппикунга татиккорнуна
Allan Kirk Jensen is in charge of operations on the Danish side.
Jeg tror, at Grønland er jo ikke kun et emne for det danske folk. Grønland det er et emne for hele verden, fordi ismængden og klimaet på Grønland det har betydning for hele jordens klima.
These fires will soon be under control, but this is only one small battle in Greenland's wider struggle against climate change. Kimanak, the international tour guide, is on her way to the shooting range just outside of Kangerlussuaq. She is meeting friends here and wants to try out her new rifle. First, it has to be calibrated.
Суарутигисиннаавараама терапиупитсуувақ ааллаасақаттаарлуни сунгиусааннаралуарлуни лунниин тоққиссисаапитсак уллутакисимагаанга.
Hunting is part of life in Greenland. Meat is available in every supermarket, right alongside guns and ammo.
Уисумақарпунга наммит пиниаккагут нерissallungit ajunginnerusoq писиниарфермукарнермингаанник нунамингаан алланерисассат неринissai.
Kimanak is already looking forward to hunting season. It starts in August. Setting off from Thule at the northernmost end of the world, narwhal hunter Mesole is on his way to a meat depot. 2 months ago, he killed the last narwhal on the other side of the Ingelfield fjord. Along with his father-in-law Christian, he wants to pick up a couple of kilos of meat. The depot is located in his favorite hunting ground, past the large icebergs and the mighty Missumasok Glacier. There is a constant risk of pieces of glacier breaking off and triggering a tsunami. Landing on the shores of the fjord is a dangerous business.
Karthammet tamahhatni qanayarat pumakdogimini uyaqtubang. Tamawe! Mama! Yeah.
The Inuit have always stored their excess narwhal meat in stone graves to be prepared for leaner times ahead. The meat will be fed to their dogs. Industrial dog food from Denmark is unaffordable for the hunters and is only used in an absolute emergency.
고양이 저희가 일머리 호지 저희가 나니 그라 어떠네 빈네 이노야 역지민 이게 내가 맞어. 왜 누가 와가만
The two men make it back to deep water just in time.
그 그럼 이야 그럼으로 헐 배형 타 그럼 하라고 와
The Inuit have lived with the dangers of collapsing glaciers for a long time. But climate change has accelerated this process considerably. Back in Kanak, it is feeding time. Misole's sled dogs mainly get narwhal meat to eat in summer. In winter, they get seals. When the temperatures drop at the end of the summer, the animals get an extra helping. For Misole and his family, the dog sled is the only way to get around in winter.
I have to do it. More than the seeing it. If you have a canny to not do it, commit by the doctor, by the cake home, Kago, Novena, Comminarum, Kahoa, in Mingani. They couldn't clear only looking out, Hogam name of Katawa, who.
The mighty landscape of Greenland is being transformed. The summers are getting longer. Here in the Arctic, the effects of global warming are particularly noticeable. Humans and animals must adapt. Life in the Arctic Circle is changing.